Hello everyone, this is Madhavi Karamudi, Assistant Professor in CSE Department. In this lecture, I will talk about files in C language. First of all, we'll see what is a file, why we need to use this files concept, and what are the functions that are associated to work with the files, right? So first of all, file is just like a container for storing some information. So this file represents a sequence of bytes on the disk space where a group of related data is stored. Suppose if you want to store related information like students information, then we'll create one file. In that file, we'll store all the students related information. Suppose if you want to store employee information. So for that, we'll create one more file. Then in that, we'll store all the employee related information, right? In the disk area, if you want to create relate or if you want to store related information, then we'll need one container. That container is a file. So this file is created for permanent storage of data. So generally, if you store some information in the form of variables, that variable lifetime will be there till the program execution ends. Once the program is closed, automatically the data that is stored in the variable will be released, right? Suppose if you want to use the data in other program also, or if you want to use the data, or if you want to store the data permanently for few days. So in that case, better store the data in the form of files. Then it will be stored in the permanent location. So it is ready-made structure. Wherever you want, you can directly use there. Okay. So why the files are needed, or why we need to create the file is, when a program is terminated, if you store the data in the form of variables, then the program is terminated, automatically the data will be lost. So storing in a file will preserves your data even if the program terminates. That is one of the main reason. Second reason is, if you have to enter a large amount of data, then it will take large time to enter them or store them in the variables. So if you use the concept of files, then it will, with single statements or few commands itself, we can store that entire data into the file very easily or very quickly. Okay, that is another reason. Third reason for going for files is, if you store the data in the form of files, you can move that file from one computer to another computer without any changes. So these are the main reasons to go for files, right? Let me explain how to create the file in C language. So in C language, we use structure pointer of file type to declare a file. Here we have a predefined file structure. So for that file structure, we need to create one file pointer. Okay, so this is the default of file structure. For this file structure, we need to create a file pointer. Using this file pointer, we can do all other operations on files. So C provides a number of functions that helps to perform the basic file operations. So few of the operations that we can perform on files in C language is, we can create a new files, or we can open the existing files, or we can read the data from the file, or we can write some of the contents into the file, or finally we can move the file, in the file, we can move the position from one location to another location, and we can also close the file. These are the majorly performed operations on the files in C language. Let us see the functions that are used to perform all those method or all those operations. See, in C language, we have fopen function. This fopen function is used for creating a new file, or sometimes we can also use this fopen function for opening the existing file. Okay, so in C language, there is no specific function for creating the file. We can use fopen function for both creation as well as opening the existing file. Now, second one is fclose function. So this function is for closing the files. getC function is for reading the characters from the file. If you want to read the character, read the data from the file character by character, then we use getC function. Suppose if you want to write the characters, write the data into the file character by character, then we'll use putC function. If you want to read the set of data from the file, then we have fscanf function. If you want to write some contents into the file, then we have fprintf function. If you want to read the integers from the file, then we have getW function, putW function for writing the integers into the file. We have seek function for setting the position to the desired point in the file. Suppose if you want to return the current position of the file, then we have ftell function. If you want to set back to the beginning point, okay, if you want to set the pointer to the beginning point, then we need to use rewind functions. These are the predefined functions available in C language to operate on files. Let us see these functions one by one with examples. Before that, let me explain the types of files. So generally, we can see two categories of files in the programming environment. First category is text files. So this text file stores the textual information like alphabets, numbers, special symbols, all those things. So some of the example text files are .txt files, .dat files, or some cases our C source files are also called as text files. Because in our C file also we will write, we will use alphabets, numbers and special symbols only. So our C source file also comes under text file. Now see the second category of files, binary files. So this binary files contains the information in the form of binary numbers. Okay, that means this binary files contains the data in the form of zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. So mostly these binary files are the executable files. These binary files contains data in the form of machine readable format. So binary files are mainly stored with .bin extensions or .exe files. Okay, so whenever you compile your C program, we'll get .obj file, right? So the .obj file, and we'll get finally we'll get the .exe file. The .exe file, if you can open the .exe file, we can't understand anything from that file because whatever source code you are writing in your .c file, that will be internally converted into machine readable format. So .exe file contains the information in the form of zeros and ones. So the .exe files, we are calling it as a binary files. So if you see the drawbacks of this binary file, the data that is stored in the binary file is not in human understandable format. So the data that is stored in the binary file is in the form of machine instructions. Okay, so in C library, we have some functions to operate on text files as well as binary files. Let us see the files of functions one by one. First of all, if you want to work with a text file, okay, if you want to create a text file or if you want to open a text file, then we need to call open function, fopen function. This fopen function is used for creating a new file as well as for opening the existing file, right? See the syntax of the fopen function. Here, first of all, we need to create the pointer of file structure. Unless until you create the file structure of a pointer of type file structure, your file will not be created. Okay, first create the file structure and next you use the fopen function, fopen const char star file name const char star mode. So this first parameter indicates that name of the file. So with which name you want to open the file or with which name you want to create the file. So this is the name of the file. Second parameter indicates that in which mode you want to open the file. So here we have lot of different modes. In these modes we can open our files. Let me explain the file modes once. First mode is R mode. The meaning of this R mode is opening the file for reading mode. Opening the file in read mode. So if you open the file in read mode with a specified name, if that file does not exist, then your fopen function returns null. It will not create the new file. It will return the null value. Next one is W. W indicates write mode. That means if you are opening the file in write mode. So if you are opening the file in write mode, first it will verify whether with that name is there any file exists or not. If it exists, it will open that file. Before that, all the contents that are there in the file will be overwritten and it will be open for us for writing purpose. Suppose whatever file we are opening in the write mode, if the file is not there in the memory, then automatically your fopen function will create one file with that name and it will be opened for us for writing purpose. That is about write mode. Now see the A. A indicates that append mode. Suppose if you want to open the file in append mode, appending means adding the data at the end of the file. So if you want to open the file for adding some more data at the end of the file, in that case we need to use A mode. F open file name comma A. So if you open the file in append mode, if the file exists, then that will be opened for you for adding the contents into the file. At that time, the file pointer will be placed at the end of the file. Because in append mode, we are adding the contents into that file at the end only. So it will open the file and it will put the file pointer in the last position of the file. Suppose if the file does not exist, then with that file name, whatever name you are supplying, with that file name, it will create one file and it will open for us for appending purpose. Right? That is about append mode. Next mode is R plus. R plus means open the file for both reading as well as writing purpose. So in this case, if the specified file does not exist, then fopen function returns null value. Suppose if the file exists with the name, then it will be opened for us for writing purpose. That is about R plus mode. Next one is W plus. W plus means open the file for both reading as well as writing purpose. So in this case, so here mainly writing purpose, right? So in this case, if the file exists, automatically the contents of all the files will be overwritten and it will be open for us for writing purpose. Suppose if the file does not exist, then it will create one file with that name and it will be open for us for writing purpose, right? So you have to remember one thing. If the mode is R, if the file exists, then only it will be open for us. If the file is not exist, it will not create a new file. It will return null value. Suppose if you are opening the file in write mode or write plus mode, if the file does not exist, it will create the file for us and it will open for us. Okay. Next one is A plus. A plus indicates that open the file for both reading as well as for appending. In this case, if the specified file name is not exist, then it will create the file with that name and it will open for us for appending purpose. Okay. So these are the file modes available on text files. These are the modes available on text files. Similarly, if you want to create the file binary files, what are the modes available for binary file creation is RB. RB is similar to read mode. Okay. So here RB indicates that open for reading in binary mode. Okay. All these modes are for creating binary files. Okay. So if you open the file, binary file in RB mode, if the file does not exist, fopen function returns null value. If the file exists, it will open for us for reading purpose. Next one is WB. In this case, it opens the file for the writing purpose in the binary mode. If the file exists, its contents are overwritten. If the file does not exist, it will create the new file and it will open for us. Okay. AB mode. AB mode means append binary mode. So open the file in append mode. appending purpose in binary mode. Okay, here also the data will be attached at the end of the file. If the file does not exist, it will create the new file with the specified name and it will open for us for appending purpose. RB plus, open for both reading as well as writing. W plus, open for both reading and writing in binary mode. In binary mode, if you open the file in binary mode, the contents will be stored in the form of zeros and ones. If you open the file in text mode, then our text will be stored in the direct text format. Okay, these are the modes available for binary modes. Okay, next coming to the next, closing a file. Okay, so once you open a file, after performing all the operations on the file, compulsory you have to close that file. Because if you are not closing the file, there is a chance of misusing that file by other persons. That is the reason why you have to close it. So for closing that file, we have fclose function. This fclose function is used to close an already opened file. Okay, if you see the syntax, fclose, whatever file you want to close, that file pointer we need to pass as a parameter. Okay, here this fclose function closes the file and returns 0 if the file is closed successfully. Suppose if there is any problem while closing that file, then it will return some error message like, or sometimes it will return EOF. Okay, so EOF means it is a constant. EOF indicates that end of file. This constant is also defined in the stdio.h file. All these file functions like fopen, fclose, putc, getc, fscanf, fprintf, all these functions are available in stdio.h header file. In that stdio.h header file, we have one constant, that is EOF, for specifying end of file. Okay, so while closing your files, if the file closes successfully, it will return success message or 0. Suppose if there is any problem, it will return the, while closing the file, it will return the error message. Okay, next is the third function, writing the contents into a file. Suppose if you want to write some content into your file, then for writing in standard IO library file, we have three functions, fputc function, fputs, fprintf functions. So these three functions we can use for writing some text into your file, right? Now see, fputc function writes the contents into your file character by character. Okay, suppose if you have some text, 3 lines of text. If you want to write these 3 lines of text in your file, if you use fputc function, this function writes the contents character by character into your file. It will not copy the entire text into your file. It will copy only character by character. Let me explain with simple example, with some example. Okay, let me open this file. Here already that file is open. Okay, see, here the execution starts from the main method. Inside the main method, I am taking one variable for future purpose. Okay, first of all, if you want to create a file, if you want to work with the file, we need to create the file structure. Okay, we need to create one pointer of that file structure. So here, this is a file structure. For this file structure, I am creating the one pointer with the name star fptr, file pointer, right? Here I have some text. Welcome to file operations. Let's begin write function. Okay, this text I want to write into my file, right? So my file name is fputc text.file, fputc text.text file. Okay, now I want to write the contents into the file. Okay, so in that case, I need to open the file in write mode. Okay, if you open the file in write mode, first it will verify whether the file exists with the specified file or not, with the file name or not. If it exists, then it will clear all the contents, previous contents of that file, and it will write this content into that file character by character. If that is not available, if this file name is not available, it will create one file and it will allow, it will open for us for writing purpose. So that is the meaning of this statement. And whatever file it is opened, if the file is opened successfully, it will, this fopen function returns true. Okay, so that value will be stored in this fptr, file pointer. Okay, suppose if there is a problem with the fopen function, then it will return false. That false status will be maintained by fptr. Okay, now this is the logic for writing the text character by character. Okay, so here this entire text I need to write into the file character by character. Okay, so for that I am taking one for loop. Until the text ends, new line character identifies, I need to write this text character by character into my file. So what is my file name? This file, right? So this file is now pointing by fptr. Okay, so what is the function for writing the content into the file character by character? fputc function. fputc, whatever string you want to write, that string. Okay, so this string is available in str array. So this string I want to write in fptr. So what is fptr? fptr is a pointer that refers fputc test.text file, right? Once the data is written into the file successfully, now I want to print one message for the understanding sake. Data successfully written in the specified file. Finally, I want to close that file by using fclose function. Okay, we need to close whatever file that is opened. You have to close at the end by using fclose function. See, before executing this program, first see whether this with this name the file exists or not. Okay, so my location, in this location I have stored my files. What is that file name? File putc underscore test.text. Okay, file putc. Okay, here with that name there is no file. With that name there is no file. If there is no file with that name, it will create the file and it will store that contents in that file. Okay, save it and check the output. For that, first compile the program. gcc space file putc.c. No errors. ./a.out. Okay, until unless if you open file putc underscore test file, we don't know whether the contents are written into that file or not. That is the reason why, just for the understanding sake, in the file, in the program, at the end I have written one statement like data entered successfully in that file, if the data is posted into that file, right? So here I got the message, data successfully written in the file putc.text file. Let me check whether it is written into that file or not. Previously with that name there is no file. Now here you can observe, here this is the file. You just open that file, see the contents. Welcome to file operations. Let's begin write function. Whatever code we have written previously, so that content, that text will be written into this file character by character. Okay, so this is about fputc function. Let's come back to the next function. Next function, that is fputs function. fputs function. This fputs function is also used for writing the contents into the file, but this function is used for writing string by string. Okay, instead of copying the string, copying the data character by character, here we will copy the data string by string. Let us see one simple example program how to use this fputs function. First, see the syntax of fputs. fputs, whatever string you want to write, that string is the first parameter. To which file you want to write, that file pointer we need to pass as a second parameter. This is the syntax of fputs function. Okay, let me show you this example also. File puts.c. I'm closing this file. Okay, I am opening file puts.c. So I already wrote the program. I am showing you. Okay, try to understand this program. Here inside the main method, first I am creating the file pointer of file structure. Now I am opening the file with the name file fputs test.txt. But we'll see, first we'll see whether that file is exists or not with that name. Yes, it is there. I am deleting that file now. Okay. So here I am opening this file in write mode. If you are opening that file in write mode means if the file exists, it will open for us. If the file doesn't exist, it will create the file with this name and it will open for us. Right? Now by using fputs function, I am writing this entire content into this file, wherever the file pointer is pointing. So where the file pointer is pointing, the file pointer is pointing fputs test.txt. Okay. Now second line I am writing again into that file by using fputs function. So this entire line will be copied into that file. Again third line I am writing into the file at once. Okay. Finally, until unless I open this file, I don't know whether the contents are written into that file or not. Okay. Just for the understanding sake, I have written one printf statement, whether the data is inserted or not. Okay. If these three statements successfully executed, then we'll get this message. If there is a problem with these three statements, we'll not get this message. So that we can understand there is a problem with our puts function. Okay. Finally, after my operations are over, we need to close the file pointer. Okay. We need to close the file. So what is the file here? This file. This file is pointed by fp pointer. So that fp pointer, we need to close it by using fclose function. So this is the way to use the fputs function. Let me explain let me show the output of this function also. Okay, just see here there is no file with the name fputs_test. Okay, see clearly there is no file name with that name. Okay, so I am compiling the program. First I am compiling gcc file puts.c, no errors, /a.out. Okay, data successfully written in file puts_test.txt. Let me show you whether it is created or not. Previously it was not there, now it was there. See, previously it was not there, now it was created. Just open that file. Here that three lines were written in this file. First line is, this is the example of puts. Second line is, we don't need to use for loop. Third line is, this is easier than fputs function. All that three lines, whatever we have written in the code, that text is displayed here, right? So this is about file puts function. Okay, these three lines written into this file, string by string at a time. Okay, let me come back to the next function. Next function for writing the contents into the file is fprintf function. By using this fprintf function also, we can write the contents into the file. Okay, so here this is just like our printf function, how we can print the data onto the console. If you want to print the data into the file, or if you want to post your data into the file, we need to use fprintf function. Let me show you that printf function output also. So what is the file name? Fileprint.c. Fileprint.c. gedit fileprint.c. This is the program. Okay, so here I am creating the file pointer of type file structure, and I am opening one file fprintf_test.txt file in write mode. Okay, first I'll delete that file, it's already created. First I'll delete that file, this one I am deleting. Okay, now see, here I am using fprintf function for copying this text into the file. Instead of using fputc, fputs, here I am using fprintf function. right? So for the syntax of fprintf function is to whom you want to copy that file name, file pointer name, and the content you want to write. So this is the content I want to write into this file pointer, right? Once this statement is executed successfully, then this printf statement will be printed on the screen. If there is a problem with this statement, then it will not be printed on the screen. So once my task is over, I need to close the file pointer by using fclose function. Here I am closing, right? Let me show you the output of this function also, this fprintf function also. Just close it, compile the program. Okay, by using gcc filename.c, no errors, /a.out. Data successfully written in fprintf_test.txt. Let me show you that file. Previously it was deleted. Now see here it was there, fprintf_test.txt. Right? Who has created that file? We are not creating. Your program is creating. If you open if you call fopen function, it will create the file and it will write that content into the file. Here this is the text that is written by fprintf function. Okay. Now these are the functions available in C language for writing the contents into the file. fputc writes the contents character by character. fputs writes the content string by string. fprintf function writes the content at once into the file. These are the three functions for writing the data into the file. Now see the next function, reading the contents from the file. Suppose if you want to print the contents that is there in the file. Okay, so for that, for reading, for extracting data from the file, we have again three functions. One is fgetc function, fgets function, and fscanf function. Okay, fgetc function is used to obtain the data from the file character by character. It will read the content from the file single character at a time. Okay, so this function returns the number of characters read by the function. It returns the character present at position indicated by the file pointer. After reading the character, this file pointer is advanced, move to the next character. If the file pointer is at the end of the file, or if an error occurs, an EOF will be returned to the function. This function returns EOF. Suppose if there is no end of the file, if there is another character at the next, then it will move to the next position. Okay, so the syntax of fgetc function is int fgetc. For this we need to pass the file pointer. Okay, so see the function program for this fgetc2.c. gedit fgetc2.c. Sorry, I forgot the file name. file_getc2.c. Okay, with this name there is no file. gedit file_getc2.c. Okay, see the program now. How to use this fgetc function? First we need to create the file pointer. With that file pointer, we need to open the file. Here we need to perform reading operation, right? So for reading operation, what we need to do is first we need to create one file with the specified name. Then we need to open that file in read mode. Okay, reading means extracting the contents from the file. Okay, from which file you want to extract the contents? First of all, you have to create that file and you have to write some content into that file. Okay, see here in this file I have read.c. I have stored some text. See this file. In read hello.c, I have the text like welcome to files in C. Okay, now I want to open that file in read mode, right? Suppose if the file pointer returns null, if the file pointer returns null means if there is a problem with the while opening that file, while opening this hello.c file, then simply return 0. If there is no problem while opening that file, that means if the file is successfully opened, then what we need to do? Read the content character by character from the file and print that content on the screen. Okay, so here character by character I am reading the contents from the file pointer, and each and every time I am storing that character in the C variable. Okay, if the file is not reaching end of the file, then print that character on the screen. Okay, whatever character you are reading from the file, you just put that character in the C and print it on the screen. Suppose while reading, if you find end of file character, okay, that means if you reach the end of the string, then simply break the process. You just come out of this loop. Come out of this loop. Once all the characters are read from the file, then finally close the file. This is our program. Let me show you the execution process. Okay, here this program will read the contents from hello.c file and that will be printed on the screen. Okay, what are the contents of hello.c file? Welcome to files in C. So this will be, we will get this output on the screen. Let me show the output. gcc.filegetc.c. There is no errors. /a.out. So whatever content that is there in read.c file, that content we are reading and we are printing it on the screen, right? So like this, the fgetc function will works. Okay. Now come back to the next function, fgetS function. This fgetS function reads the contents from the file, specified file. But here, this fgetS function reads contents line by line instead of character by character. This fgetS function reads the contents line by line. Okay. So the syntax of fgetS function is character fgetS. Here, from which file you want to read, that file name, I mean that string, and the number of characters you want to read, number of lines you want to read from that file, and the here file stream pointer. Okay, file pointer we have to pass. So the next function is reading the data from the file using scanf function. We have one more function for reading the contents from the file, that is by using scanf. So this function also works like normal scanf function. Okay, but this normal scanf function is used for reading the content from the console, but fscanf function is used for reading the contents from the files. That is the difference. Okay, so arguments of fscanf function are same as scanf function. How we will pass the parameters to scanf function? Similarly, fscanf function also we need to pass same parameters, except in case of fscanf function, we need to pass one more extra parameter, that is file pointer. Okay. Now see, so if you use fscanf function, if it reads the contents from the file successfully, then it will return true value. Suppose if there is any error while reading the contents from the file, then it will return -1. Okay. Now see the syntax of fscanf function. Fscanf file, okay, and character format specifier we need to specify which type of data you are reading, whether it is integer data or string data or character data or double data, that we need to specify in the form of format specifier, and file pointer we need to pass as a parameter. Okay, let me show you the example for this also. Fscanf example.c. gedit fscanf ex.c. Okay, see the function, see the code. First we are creating the file pointer and we are opening the def text file with read mode for reading purpose. If there is any problem while opening the file, it will return 0. That indicates that there is no such file with that. Suppose if this file is there, Then it will open, this fopen function opens the file in read mode. Then see here I am taking one array for storing the data that is reading from the file temporary purpose. Okay. So first I am reading the data from the file and I am storing the data in the temporary. If the temporary file data is not 1, that indicates that if your temporary file contains some content, then print that content. Suppose you are reading the contents from the file, okay, and there is no content in the file, that indicates that we are not storing any content in the temporary file. Okay, so if there are no contents means it will not be equal to 0, equal to 1. So if it is not equal to 1, there is no content to print. Okay, will not enter into this block, right? Let me show you the output. Before showing the output, let me show you this file, whether this file is there or not. def.txt file. See, def.txt. Yes, def.txt file is there. What are the contents in this? Hello, how are you? Welcome to fscanf function. Okay, I want to display this content on the console using fscanf function. Right? I'm closing it. I'm running my program. First, I need to compile it. gcc filename.c no errors /a.out. So, hello, how are you? Welcome to fscanf function. That means your fscanf function will read the content from the file, and after reading, it will print that content by using printf function on this thing. Okay, this is all about file reading and file writing functions. So in this session, we have discussed about how to open the file, how to write the contents into the file, and how to read the contents from the file. Okay, so remaining functions, we'll see it in the next class. So stay tuned. Thank you one and all.